Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, Today we are going to react to August D, Sugar's first ever studio album, the pre-release track from his upcoming album D-Day. It's called Saram Part 2 or People Part 2. It features IU, and Saram Part 2 is because D2, his second mixtape under the name August D, it already had a track called Saram or People. It's my favorite track from the album. I really like that track. It is my favorite. I think it's a lot of us favorite track from the album. It's just so good. And yeah, so we are getting part 2 of it today, and it features IU. IU and Suga have worked together before on IU's track called 8, and it was such a pretty track. So yeah, it I'm really excited about the lyrics and just how it's gonna be because you know August D albums are actually my favorite albums from the rap line releases, especially D2. It's my all-time favorite. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and the MV is out. So let's start reacting to it. I'm a little nervous about this for some reason. Starting off with IU.
사랑이라는 말 어쩌면 순간의 감정에 나 조건이 붙지 않은 무엇 사랑하는 충분히 사랑받지 못한 나이 그래서 무엇보다 신중한 타입 나는 말에 원해 진중한 사이 알잖아 영원한 노래서 잔잔한 파도에도 힘없이 쉽게 무너져
That one is like 8.
사실은 두려운 게 슬픈 거야 두려운 게 슬픈 거야 So far away you're gone Getting far away
Very calm. The vibe of the MV. Puppy. Very homely. It's like recording at home. Ah, the poster.
사실은 두려움이 큰 거잖아 함께 미래 그리던 우리는 없고 싸운 모래 성비를 부셔버린 것은 우린
This is very similar to the line from 8.
모든 걸 주겠다던 우린 모든 것을 부셔 떠나지 사랑이던 사람들 모두가 이기적이기 때문이야 So far away you're gone
You know what? So Far Away, it's my favorite track from August D, the first mixtape. He's writing lyrics down. Studio. Genius Lab. It is his studio. So the MV is literally like just him working on his music and stuff. Like something like a documentary.
삶은 처음과 복종 사이의 싸움이라는데 내가 보기에는 외로움들과의 싸움이 내 눈물이 터져 나오면 그대 울어도 돼 당신은 사랑받기에도 이미 충분한 상태
Something I really like about yoongi. There's no so angelic, bro. Oh, look at the puppy. Oh.
대부분 다 뭐 사람들한테 전달하고 싶은 이야기도 있지만 나 자신한테 이야기를 하는 것처럼 들린다라는 이야기를 많이 들었거든요. 사실이기도 하고요. 그때 당시에 코로나로 여러 가지 것들이 할 수 없을
It
때
was written during the pandemic.
굉장히 모든 것을 잃어버렸다라고 생각을 했을 때 썼던 곡이기 때문에 나 자신한테 되게 해주고 싶었던 이야기였습니다.
I like that they included that bit. Okay, let's just watch it again and then I'll just talk about what I can feel or what I can come up with. The MV is very chill. It's not very cinematic or anything. It's more like a recording of him doing his work, doing whatever he does at home. I mean, it goes along with what he said at the end. This was done when he was unable to do much due to the pandemic. We know it did affect them a lot. They talked about it. Yoongi, Namjoon, and Yoongi and Namjoon did say they cried a lot during that time because they were so frustrated because everything just came to a stop and they had such big plans. And the pandemic did affect a lot of people. It was not a good time. So yeah, it is still going on, but the lockdowns and stuff have lifted. But when they were going on, it was just so out of the blue, and just yeah, can't believe it's been like 2 years since then. About Yoongi, he really likes writing down the lyrics in his notepad, especially a yellow notepad. He does not use digital to write it down. That's something he does use them, but not quite often. He prefers writing it down in notebooks. 어쩌면 순간의 감정의 날 조건이 붙지 않은 무얼 사랑하는 충분히 사랑받지 못한 나이 그래서 무엇보다 신중한 This line hit a little too hard. It's something I can relate to a lot. I think that's why I relate to Yoongi a lot. He's very similar to me personality-wise. That's why, yeah, I think that's why his songs really speak to me a little too much. This line wasn't loved much as a kid. That's why I'm the cautious type. I mean, it's not like you didn't receive any love, but it's more like it was not openly shown to you. It's not open displayed acts of affection. It's more like, okay, there's something, but it's not openly expressed. So it does end up affecting you a lot, and it kind of changes your perception around how you view relations and how you react to others. And like it feels a little weird when someone starts showing you affection like openly. It I'm very similar. I can relate to this line a lot. I can't really explain it properly, and I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to it, so I don't think I need to explain it actually. But yeah, this hits home. Yeah, exactly that one. We always want something sincere, something honest. It's really difficult to find though. And even if you do find it, you take it for granted. You don't really realize it until it's gone. So, yeah, I guess I'm still looking. And it doesn't always have to be the type where it's romantic. It can be any sort, like a family, friends, something of that. But because I grew up that way, I can't really recognize it when it's thrown my way. And when it is, it feels a little weird. And when I try to express it, I am like overcautious about it because I'm like, okay, maybe what if the other person gets weirded out, or maybe I'm overdoing it. So there's just this part of me which overthinks a lot, and most of the time it's just me. The other person doesn't really care much about it, but yeah, it's just things just keep going on in my head, and I'm like, okay, if this person is trying to be close to me, I'm like, well, maybe they're just trying to be nice. They don't really care. Maybe they really dislike me. So I'm just overly cautious about it. But at the same time, I also want people to be close to me, even though I really dislike being close to people, if that makes sense.
잔잔한 파도에도 힘없이 쉽게 무너져 상실은 무엇 때문에 슬픈 걸
That line about the sandcastle, it is a line that's in eight. I mean, it's not the exact same line, but yeah, he did talk about sandcastles, and eight is also a very deep track. It's I if you haven't heard it, I'd suggest you do and just read the lyrics. It's very pretty, and yeah, he does compare relations and just emotions to sandcastles. They're just so fragile. Like it takes time to build it up, and they're so beautiful, but at the same time so fragile. One wave could absolutely decimate it, and it's gone forever.
실은 두려운 게 슬픈 거야 두려운 게
I
슬픈
like this line. Okay, I'm just pausing way too much. What is it about loss that makes us so sad?
슬픈 걸 사실은 두려
Really, it's the dread that makes us so sad. I think, yeah, it's self explanatory pretty much, but when you lose someone or something, I mean, everyone knows you're gonna lose them one day, and when you lose them, more than the person not being there, I mean, once they're not there, most of us, not all of us, we just come to accept it. Like, yeah, they're not here anymore, and kind of just get on with our everyday lives. But when they're still around, it's the fear of losing them which really grips us more than actually losing them. And losing them by that I don't mean just death always. It can mean them just going away or you just drifting apart. Yeah, it's more than, yeah, as I said, more than losing them. It's the fear of losing them which really grips you. It's really scary in a way. And most of us can understand that. Most of us have lost people we've been really close to. It could have been due to many reasons, different reasons, but yeah. Yeah.
두려운 게 슬픈 거야 두려운 게 슬픈 거야 So far away you're gone Getting far away
So Far Away is my favorite track from Agusti. And then August D is my favorite track, the title track. I cried a lot to So Far Away because it's literally my story.
So time is here, now Friday to go. I know you know anything is no. So time is here, now Friday to go.
IU has such a pretty voice.
Nobody doesn't know anymore. 당신은 무엇 때문에 슬픈 걸까? 사실은 두려움이 큰 거죠. 함께 미래 그리던 우리는 없고 쌓은 모래 성들을 부셔버린 것은
The sandcastles being torn down. If people just drift apart, it's usually because of our own actions. It could have been something you meant to do, or just something that just happened on its own, and you didn't really realize it. So yeah, if you're comparing the relation to the sandcastle, it's actually instead of let's say the waves, those are the unforeseen circumstances that just hit, but at the same time there are many times when you yourself tear it down. And it's not like you don't appreciate it, but there's a point in time where it just has to go. There's no point in letting it be there. It just has to go, and you have to do it.
노린 거야 승패가 없는 게임 하지마 난 언제나 게임 loser 모든 걸 주겠다던 우리 모든 것을 push 부단하지 사랑이던 사람에게 모두가
During COVID, it's one of the reasons why I've stopped thinking so much about the future and just stopped making plans. Everyone had so many plans. I think I'm whispering, but yeah, everyone had so many plans, so much planned for the future, so many goals, dreams. But then it just happened out of the blue, and it all came down, all just paused, crashed. It was such a weird thing, such a weird time to go through. Honestly, being stuck at home, it didn't really affect me that negatively. In fact, my conditions at that time were such that I was happy to be stuck at home. I was happy that I didn't really have to go out and just go through the things that I was going through at that time. I kind of appreciated being stuck at home, but I don't like saying this a lot because there were so many people that were so negatively impacted. Many lost their lives, their livelihoods, just many lost their loved ones. It was a horrible time, and I hope no one has to go through that again. But yeah, I think the previous line that Yoongi said, that situation can be applied to those lines also. And he did say this song was something that came out of him, of himself during that time because he was just stuck. They were just stuck at home and they couldn't really do much. There was no point in making plans because it was just so unpredictable. You don't know how much longer it's gonna go on. It was just, oh no. Yeah, you know, you've been through it. We've been through it, you know. And this paused bit over here. You know how we say certain emotions are selfless, like a selfless act of love, or love is selfless. Honestly, as he's saying over here, I also think it's pretty selfish. Do you know what I mean? I I don't know how to explain things today, but I have a lot to say. It's the thing. The thing is, we act selfless, most of us. It's because it's giving us something in return. I mean, it doesn't have to be something physical in return, but it's just the emotion that you feel. You're like, okay, maybe I'm a good person. I did something for that other person. You see them happy and stuff, and you're like, I did that. Okay. I mean, not proud, but you do feel like you're happy, and then the reason you maintain relations with others, it's not completely selfless. It's most of the time it's because you're getting something out of it too. I mean, it doesn't have to be something big, or how do I say this? It doesn't have to be something big or something physical, something tangible, but it can just be the pleasure you derive from it. You know, there's someone or something that's there for me. You know, that's why most of us humans maintain relations, and I do think love is not selfless. It's not. Selflessness is also derived from selfishness, but I guess it's just less destructive. It's helping more people out, so I guess that's nice. He really likes his puppies, doesn't he? I like the lighting in this. It's very angelic, dreamy. Fits him. This is his second home, Genius Lab.
떠가는 사랑, 떠가는 사랑, 사랑의 끝은 과연 무엇일까? 수많은 사람, 스쳐간 사랑, 사랑은 사랑은.
This bit reminds me of, I'm sure you've heard Trivia Love from Namjoon, Sarang. And in that line, it's a pretty famous line for us. There's, you eroded all my edges and turned it into love. So there's this bit where it's love is sarang in Korean, sarang, and people or a person, it's saram, human, saram. So if you know how to write uh, Korean Hangul, I think you'll know that the last bit over there, which you pronounce as M, saram, it's like a box thing, and in sarang there's a circular thing. I don't know how to explain it. The letter. So in that Namjoon says you eroded my edges, so it's the square. There's sharp edges, right? And you eroded it, and you turned it into sarang. So I think that's really cool. You eroded the edges of that sharp letter and turned it into. I mean, this does not have any sharp edges. You get it. You get the point. I think Yoongi is also using that in this because the song is Haram and he's also talking about Sarang a lot. 삶은 저항과 복종 사이의 싸움이라는데 내가 보기에는 외로움들과의 싸움이 내 눈물이 터져 나오면 그대 울어도. Humans are social animals. A lot of us are turning antisocial. But at the end of the day, we still long for connections. We are social animals after all. We still long for people to understand us, be around us. Just it's a form of, it's something with which you feel safe. It gives you meaning in a way. It gives you purpose, a sense of purpose, having someone or something around which you can call yours, or you can call them yourself theirs. You know what I mean? And this line, if you can't hold it back, it's okay to cry. This is something I really, really, really like about Yoongi. He does not sugarcoat his words. He does not say something he meant, but packages it in a nice, presentable way. He tells it to you the way it is at face value. That's something I really like about his works, even his works from way, way back. There's something about him. He just gets it, He just understands humans. He just gets it for some reason. And he just presents it out so plainly. It's so simple for you to understand it. And he's not talking for others, he's talking about his own story, his own thoughts, his own beliefs. And in a way, that's very comforting because he's not assuming anything about others. He's just like, okay, you are like this, I am like this. That's all right, that's okay. And he's not forcing you like a lot of people do when you have a lot of role models and stuff. Most role models, they're like, okay, dream big, achieve this, do that. But with Yoongi, I've always noticed he's like, it's okay. Even Bangtan too. I mean, this is a big part of their message. It's like, you're all right just the way you are. You have dreams, you don't have dreams. It doesn't really matter that much. Even though dreams mean a lot to Yoongi, but still, there are a lot of people who don't really have big dreams. It could be because of many reasons. I mean, not gonna judge. And I am one of those. I really have big goals or aspirations. I did, and I do have some in the back of my head, but I know that they're just impossible to achieve. They're just way too out of reach. So I don't really think a lot about them, and it really breaks me when people tell me I should have them. It's very annoying, honestly. Like, You're gonna just come here and assume I don't want to do anything with my life. I'm just living. I do want to do things as well, but it's just that I can't find a proper path that I want to take, a proper direction, and that's something that Yoongi has always talked about, even in So Far Away. That's why I really cried to that track a lot, because when I was watching the lyrics and I was like, oh my god, this is exactly me. This is exactly my story. That was, I think, the first track I ever cried to. Yeah, that is just something about Yoongi, which is always like, he's always like, how people are like, you shouldn't cry, you're a grown up, and all that. And I don't cry often. I've said this before as also, but with Yoongi, even he doesn't really express emotions that often, but at the same time, he's always like, it's okay. You need to let it out sometimes. If you can't keep it in all the time, it's okay. You can just let it out. He said it to Jungkook also in an interview, but in the past, he was like, okay, you can cry, just don't cry alone. And that's just, yeah, that's why Yoongi is one of my biggest role models. The more I talk about him, the more it gets me in my feels. So I think we should just continue. I'm sorry. You are already more than enough to be loved. This is. I'm pausing way too much today. You're already more than enough to be loved. We all try to change ourselves. We're always like, okay, others around us are not that accepting. Maybe there's just some issue with me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my fault. All of us are like that. It's not something only a few people feel. Like most of us do feel this way. And it's so reassuring when someone says something like this, like, it's not you, you're all right, you deserve to be accepted, you deserve to be loved. It can be due to like many different things, your belief, what how you are, the way you talk, the way you look, what your choices are, so many different things. And there's a lot of people who shame us into thinking we don't deserve to be loved because we don't comply to the traditional way someone is supposed to be in society, you know. So it's nice to have someone, even though we don't really know each other, it's nice to have someone who just comes in and says, it's okay, you're enough. It's such a simple line, but it can have a huge impact on someone, especially if they're just going through some really bad times. You don't know what's going on in someone's mind, in someone's heart. They could be just fine from the outside, but you don't know what's going on inside. So it's nice to have someone who can say something like this. I think I talked way too much during the last chorus, so the last verse, so let's just watch it again. I want to watch it again. I need help. Getting far away, too far away, you're gone. I know I have to know. Sometimes, yeah, not Friday, go. I know you know everything, there's no
사랑은 사랑의 끝은 과연 무엇일까 수많은 사람 스쳐간 사랑은 사랑으로 완벽할까 그래 말해 이타적인 게 어쩌면 되려 이기적이네
Exactly what I said. I didn't even notice it.
너를 위해 한다는 말은 곧 내 욕심이기에 욕심을 버리면 행복해지고 채우지 못한 반쪽짜리 삶은 저항과 복종 사이의 싸움이라는데 내가 보기에는 외로움들과의 싸움이네 눈물이 터져 나오면 그
I don't know how he's able to come up with all this. Like, he's able to express it so well. Like, you can see me struggling to find the words right now, and then there's him. Just, how does he do it, man? Him and Namjoon both. They're so good at understanding humans. I think Namjoon would make a great professor, and Yoongi would just make a really good therapist, a counselor. I think he'll just get into that one day. He's just really good at it. You feel safe around him, you know. Like, I wouldn't mind telling him my entire life story if he asked for it. I'd be like, okay, sit down. Let me tell you, bro.
그대 울어도 돼 당신은 사랑받기에도 이미 충분한 상대
I wonder about therapists and counselors, you know. I mean, this is completely off track. If you guys are one or you know one, let me know. I mean, you know how you deal with so many people and their stories, and these stories are heavy. It's very heavy, and you deal with them every single day. It probably affects you, right? It probably does. And like, how do you deal with it? I mean, there could be a point where it gets too much. I mean, I know they have their own therapists and they can go talk to or seek out help if they did need it. But still, at the same time, like, no one's life is easy. You're all going through something or the other. There's not like, there's nothing like, okay, this one is suffering more, this one is suffering less, so it just invalidates whatever you're going through and stuff. So it there must be a point where it gets a little too much. I mean, your check. That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, does it ever get too much? And how do you deal with it? And with Yoongi too, like, not just Yoongi, like entirety of Bangtan, all seven of them, they've released so many tracks which have provided a lot of comfort for many, and it's a reason why so many of us are dedicated to them so much. And during the pandemic, as much as it did affect us, it affected them too. Even if they're at a like a good state, like money wise, influence wise, it still does affect people. You know, emotions are shit. So they did check in with us. I can't even talk. Check in with us so many times. They released so many tracks during that time. PTT, Butter, Dynamite, it all came out because of those specific conditions that were present at that time. And I'm like, you guys were checking in with us, but who was checking in with you? Like, I know they have friends and colleagues, and if they need, they can get professional help. But still, it is like there's a part which is very concerned, a part of me and a part of all of us, a lot of us, which is concerned. Like, you did so much to help us. I hope there was something which helped you too. And I hope it's getting better for you now. I hope you're able to find healing, find an outlet to all the frustrations, everything that just happened during that time and everything that happened that is currently happening that you're going through. I hope, yeah, I hope you're able to find healing. Not just them, but you guys too, all of us, even me. I hope it gets better.
Nobody doesn't know anymore. Yeah. 대부분 다 뭐 사람들한테 전달하고 싶은 이야기도 있지만 나 자신한테 이야기를 하는 것처럼 들린다라는 이야기를 많이 들었거든요. 사실이기도 하고요. 그 당시에 코로나로
And these songs are usually open to interpretations. They're songs, Bangtan songs. Like they're telling their own story. At the same time, you can find comfort in those songs too. You can find your own story in those tracks too. So they're open to interpretations, various interpretations. That's it. That was really nice. More than the track itself, I think I just really went too much, felt too much because of the lyrics. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, the second we found out Haram Part 2 was coming out, I was like, let me get those tissues out. But yeah, that was really nice. I don't think I want to talk much. I already talked a lot. Anyway, I feel like if I talk more, I'm gonna. Yeah. I don't want to do that again after Astronaut. I rewatched my Astronaut reaction and I'm like, why did I write all those things on top of me just bawling my eyes out with? As I said, I'm not very openly emotional, and I think you can see too. It was just me trying to diffuse the tension, but now I look at it and it just feels cringy. So, anyway, this was really nice. I really liked it. I think you can tell I talked way too much. That's it. I'll see you when his album comes out and when his official title track MV comes out, and I'll react to it. I'll see. Then let me just go and listen to it again and maybe cry over it. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. Keep streaming all the recent releases. Don't ignore them. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye. I'm sorry this video is way too long. Yeah, bye.